We live yet? Hello and welcome to the Firearms Insider Gunner Year Review Podcast. This is episode 117, the Magpul 2016 special. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross, the Super Magpul fanboy from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. Thank you for joining me. This week I've got Chad and Tony. How's it going, guys?
Oh, hi, Ryan. It's going pretty good. How'd you like that, thing I threw in there for you?
I'm digging it. I'm surprised it didn't trip me up.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, but since you're the Super Magpul fanboy...
Well, yeah, from what I'm saying, there's two men in this group wearing Magpul beanies, and you're not one of them.
That's right.
We just got Steven just joined us. Hey, welcome to the party, man. Give him a second to get his stuff set up.
Yep.
I didn't know you were a fan of Magpul, Ryan.
You know what? I've been trying out some of their stuff, and they're not too shabby.
I'll have to say, nice. I like Magpul stuff too. I'm just not as big of a fanboy.
Yeah. I mean, I had their cell phone cover for a while, but it just wasn't suiting my operational needs, so I had to ditch it for something else. But other than that, everything's good to go.
Good to go.
Well, I could be a super geek about it and go. The owner of Magpul and I were actually stationed in around Camp Lejeune at the same time, so it's I got that kind of connection.
You got that connection.
We all breathe the same air, man. It's all right.
Yeah, we were pretty much all in the town with 50,000 other Marines. Yeah, I was one of those. Yeah, that's right.
So what do you guys do in guns this week, starting with Tony?
This week in guns, I dry-fired the heck out of my Glock 19. I was going to go to the range, and I got a phone call that someone donated some training ammo to me, so I went and picked it up and hung out there for a while. The cool thing is they supplied a bunch of 9, some 40 shotgun ammo, and then 38 special ammo. So now I have to go buy 38 special just to make the gift worthwhile. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Steve. So yeah, now I got to go buy something in 38 special, so I don't waste the ammo. That's what I did. We can go.
Yeah. Well, I'll go next. I was on This Week in Guns because they were looking for everybody that didn't go to SHOT Show, so I did that last week. That was entertaining. I think since I haven't been on in a couple weeks, before last weekend I went shot the AR that I'd put together, testing out a compensator / flash hider, put some rounds downrange, tried it out. That's pretty much about all I did in guns. So that pretty much answers that.
How about you, Steven?
Did a little bit of polishing work on my FNS 9. Other than that, nothing too exciting. I haven't been able to get to the range lately. The weather's not made that so easy here in North Carolina.
That's what I've heard. I was going to say, I also, for more information, I took my Sky pistol and took the finger grooves off and stippled the front here. I don't know if you can't really see it on the monitor, but no more finger grooves.
Nice.
Guess it's you, Ryan.
Did that provide a better fit for you?
Yes. And it's a cheap gun, Tony, or inexpensive, I should say, not cheap. So, yeah, it actually provides quite a bit better fit, and it actually is quite a bit grippier, so it seemed to help out quite a bit.
All right, cool.
So what I did in guns, I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag that I've been working at Cabela's for about 3 months, but I am my term of employment is concluding at the end of this week, so it's not a big deal. So none of my opinions expressed on this show represent the opinions of Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter. So let me just get that disclaimer out of the way. And yeah, so I've been selling guns and being awfully tempted with the things that they have there as far as picking up for myself. In fact, I was looking at the Vortex magnifier, thinking how good that'd look right behind my Vortex Spark 2, so I ended up picking up that last. And some more ammo, just because I don't have my reloading stuff quite set up in my new base of operations yet, so I've been just kind of stocking up on a little bit so I can hit the range with the Tavor finally. But yeah, I put that Spark 2 in the magnifier on the Tavor since it's got so much rail space on the top. Seems like a waste to put just a little tiny, like, single unit on there because there's just so much real estate. So, but then I also got a Spitfire 3x Prism Scope 2 via my employment at a good deal. So I have to do kind of like the musical optics and kind of switch everything around on my ARs and my stuff at home. But yeah, I do need to hit the range here soon. I'll probably try Thursday. I found a range near me that a lot of people are recommending over in Little Rock in Washington State. It's called the Evergreen Shooting Club. So hopefully I'll get to do some of that. Shoot the new SIG P938 that I picked up too, because I'm really looking forward to shooting that as well.
Nice.
So besides carrying, the good old standard Glock 19 and Smith & Wesson Compact and 357 SIG, discontinued and highly rare. Yeah, that's right. That's how I roll. That's all I've been doing.
Sweet.
So, were you going to add anything?
How do you like that 3X Prism sight, or have you even actually put it on anything yet?
I like it. The reticle is it seems really small. Like there's a lot of space, like in your view. I mean, you've got your field of view, but the reticle takes up such a small percentage of that in the middle, even though it's kind of an ACOG style reticle where it's got a, somewhat of a horseshoe and then kind of a cross with a long tail going all the way down to the bottom post. And I just wish that maybe that was a little bit bigger, but I do like the fact that it's fine. It's just practicing, looking at some things outside, close and far away. It just seems like you really have to focus intensely on that, on the reticle itself. The good thing is it does go red or green as far as illumination goes, so that helps your eye.
Yeah, I've looked through the 3X one, and I kind of thought it was kind of small too, and I don't know, I like the etch reticle in them, but I don't know, I'd probably pick up a 1X if it were me.
Yeah, I mean, that 1X has just got the donut reticle where it's like a big circle with a smaller circle and then a dot inside that.
Right, it's
So,
more
I mean,
like a red dot.
Right. And it's not bad either. You could at least try and adjust the focus and leave one eye open or both eyes open with some finessing with that. But I kind of wanted a poor man's ACOG, and I kind of wanted an excuse to review it, so I picked it up. I got it at a really good deal. So I don't know if it's ethical for me to tell you what percentage it was, but it was
okay.
really hard to pass up. So. Other than that, that's what I've been doing in guns. So yep, on the 30th, I will be back to self-employment, working for Jake, doing Patriot Patch full steam again, and doing my own Hunter of Design stuff. So I will go ahead and do a shameless plug. If you need some websites or logos, business cards, you need a logo revamp or anything graphics related, go ahead and hit me up at hunterofdesign@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm actually getting quite a few people word of mouth, and then people that listen to the shows, on all the shows on the network, and appreciate the work that I do. So I'm looking to fill my workload even more. So if you're listening and you've been meaning to get a hold of me, now's a great time to do it, so I can get you on my books. Okay, now we'll go ahead and get into the announcements. Bandwidth sponsor for this podcast is Patriot Patch Company, as aforementioned. That's where I pump out some awesome designs, and Jake shills them for me. So we got some sweet new designs that were just added for pre-order, including Team MLOC and Team Keymod, as well as a Say When and Come and Take It. It's actually, no, I'm sorry, Come and Take It was an older one. Wolverines is what I meant to say. So it's kind of got a fist clenching, an AK-47, kind of reminiscent of the movie Red Dawn. So check that. Go ahead.
By the way, my son just watched the original Red Dawn the other day. Said it was a good movie. I was like, sweet.
If he said the new one was better, you should have smacked him.
No, he liked the original.
Yeah, okay. If he says the original's better than the new one, then you need to take him to Baskin Robbins, because that's a good boy right there.
Yep.
So that said, guests are always welcome on the show. Go ahead and email me at cross@firearmsradio.tv if you're interested in coming on to the podcast. So that's it for the announcements. So now we're going to get to the main product, the main topic. All this new stuff that Magpul's put out for 2016, they have done quite a bit. No one can really say that there was a lackluster showing at SHOT Show 2016, even though I was not there. I remember last year their booth was just crazy packed with media and press on probably all days. But the Hunter 700 kind of stole the show last year as far as their booth was concerned. Also the D60 drum mag and the new AK parts. All of those products I own, which is no surprise to anyone that listens to this show. So we're going to talk about some new stuff that they just released this year. I don't own any of these products yet, so even though I am a Magpul fanboy, I am going to come at this from a very kind of like blank slate, because although I'm sure they're all great, I haven't had my hands on any one of them personally, although some of these are Gen 2s or Gen 3s based on older products, so I'm very interested to talk about the new features and some of these products that are actually a little bit more affordable now. So the first one right off the bat is a good example of that. It's the Magpul UBR Gen 2. The UBR is the utility, what does that stand for? Utility/battle rifle. The Gen 1 was a really nice stock. It was pretty heavy and really expensive, definitely over $200. It is unique in that the cheek weld actually remains in one spot. It's fixed, and it's kind of an upper and a lower half of the stock. The lower half is actually where you get your length of pull adjustment. So you would adjust your length of pull, but your cheek weld would pretty much stay in the same spot. The other nice feature about this stock, the weight definitely helps balance out short-barreled rifles, or long-barreled rifles, and then ones with cans. It had QD swivel point, but also a really iconic thing about it is it had kind of two trap doors on either side of the stock, the way you could open it up and store like your bore snake, a little bit of your cleaning kit, your Skittles, your Band-Aids, whatever you need inside the stock. So it was kind of nice. You could even try and give it more of a skeletonized look by removing both of those trapdoors, and it basically gives you just a large window where you could use that to grab a hold of with your whole thumb, like a thumb hole stock, if you wanted to be able to pull that length of adjustment faster. Did you guys ever get to play with the UBR at all?
I've played with them. I've never really used one on a rifle. I've always really liked it. I think it's kind of cool looking, and it seems pretty sturdy in the way your length of pull adjustment is kind of like you said, that whole bottom piece. I mean, I don't know, weight-wise, I don't have anything to compare it to except some of their other new products. So yeah, like you said, it's heavy. It comes with part of the price is still up there, like you said, but part of the reason I think it comes with the price is it requires its own receiver extension tube. So, and it comes with it. So I think that's part of that reason. I mean, the new one, it's new. It's a Gen 2, so it's lighter. Okay. I still want one.
So the original UBR had an MSRP of $265. The Gen 2 is $199.95. So basically $65 less. They did shave off 5 ounces in weight, but it's still meant to be a very sturdy stock that can stand up to like some pretty rigorous impacts. I mean, you could use this to basically kick down doors or butt stroke somebody across the face, because it's not a cheap stock at all. It had 8 positions for adjustment, compatible. This one's compatible with carbine as well as A5 length buffer systems. It's got a 2 footman loops, and it still has the rear QD attachment point. It has kind of a rolled toe, like a lot of the MOE SL butt pad stocks do. So like Chad said, it does use a custom receiver extension tube, so it's nice that it includes that. I remember the first one did. It was a little like it definitely added to the weight, and because it had a part that filled in the place of the castle nut and the receiver end cap plate, that butt plate, and the old one had, if I remember correctly, kind of like a screw that went through that to kind of pinch that together to hold the rifle onto, or to hold the upper half onto the buffer tube, and there were some set screws in there that were visible from the outside. And apparently the one that I bought secondhand was a counterfeit, because the screws were kind of stripped. So I contacted Magpul about it, and they were asking me, what like letters were engraved on the head of the screws. When I take off the lower half completely and I look on the under half of the cheek weld, was the like lettering and stuff engraved, or was it like kind of like machined in and paint fill? So answering some of those questions, they pretty much told me that I had a counterfeit stock. So apparently it's a pretty popular stock to counterfeit, but it felt pretty durable, had all the same features, just I guess it wasn't made by Magpul, which is weird. But other than that, the new one definitely looks cleaner. They've done away with those 2 screws that are on the top cheek weld part, and they've definitely simplified the part where it goes up against the back of your receiver. So I'm very happy to see that. And of course, all their new stocks seem to have this rolling toe to accommodate the same the new butt pads and the different sizes that they're putting out. So you can pretty much use the same MOE SL butt pad on all of these new stocks.
That's cool. Yeah, I like the design of it. I guess we should give a few specs, but that you didn't already. I mean, it weighs 21.3 ounces. The length is 8.5 to 12.5 inches. It's 1.7 inches wide, if anybody really cares about the width. You have 4 inches of length to pull adjustment. I guess it's 11.6 on the M4 collapsed and 15.6 extended. I guess that's total length of pull. You can get it in black, FDE, the new or newish old stealth gray, and OD green. So, if you want to accessorize, you can get it in the different colors.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. They came up with new names for Battleship Gray. It's now what? Stealth?
Yes.
Gray.
Stealth Gray. Yeah, it's called Battleship Gray.
Yeah, I think
that's the old school term.
I think other people call it urban gray. I just call it
Sniper
gray. Yep, Sniper Gray.
Gray. Yeah, it's called marketing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Battleship Gray. It's the most dull color you can find on the face of the earth.
It's the in color. That's what everybody wants right now.
Yeah. Gun people, I swear. We're just as much fashionistas as anyone else.
I'm
Sniper Stealth Gray.
I'm old school. I like OD.
Yeah, me too.
I've got no say because right now my SBR over at Rainier Arms, it's been Cerakoted to match Stealth Gray, and it's got Stealth Gray grips and stocks. So, yeah, I mean, I like to, if I'm gonna have an AR like in all these, like one for every configuration, I want to color code them, and that way I'm less tempted to just swap for like furniture on them for when I get bored. Like, oh, I'm gonna swap stocks. So if I got one OD green, one FDE, and one Stealth Gray, then I'm kind of like committed to the configuration. Does that sound stupid?
No, it makes sense because I'm always like changing stocks because all mine are black.
Oh yeah,
Makes
I'm
sense to me.
not, goofing on you over that. I mean, I goof on you for other reasons, but no, that's fine.
So that's the new UBR. Very excited that it's cheaper, a little bit lighter, but should still be just as strong. It gives a very unique look, and it works well on carbines where you're shooting, from a standing position and your various prones and whatnot. But it also works pretty well as a rifle stock. You can adjust that length of pull. You've got your cheek weld. The only thing is that if you've got really long arms and you need to adjust this thing all the way out to the 8th position, because of that fixed cheek weld, I mean, you might have to really stretch your neck in order to make sure that your cheek is still making contact with the cheek weld. So that's the only thing, is that if you want to put this on your like marksman rifle or whatever you want to call it, and you're a long-armed, lanky dude or girl, no discriminating, yeah, that might be something to be concerned about. But the next stock we're going to talk about might be better suited for your needs. So next up, we're going to be talking about the PRS, the Precision Rifle Stock. This thing is gone now through 3 iterations. The Gen 2 is the one that everyone's familiar with. The Gen 1 was kind of a work in progress. But the Gen 2 is kind of more common that you've seen around. You've seen it on ARs, you've seen it on AR-10s because they came out with a couple different versions, one for the 308 or AR-10 platform. You've seen it on lots of bolt-action rifle chassis. Someone that pumped out a 338 Lapua that takes a AR-15 buffer tube, they're going to put a Magpul PRS on there because it makes sense. It's got the utility and the functions, and it's a really good stock. I've done a review on it on the Firearms Insider, if you aren't already aware, so check that out. But basically the PRS Gen 3, it is MSRP is $254.95. The PRS Gen 1s, both the AR-15 M16 or the SR-25 and Mark 110 or AR-10 platforms, those MSRP'd for $255. So I'm very pleased to tell you that the MSRP has dropped 5 cents. But they have simplified it quite a bit and added a couple of new bells and whistles to it. So the first major difference with this and the previous one is that it looks like they have removed the there was 2 sling loops on one in a horizontal and one in a vertical orientation on the first PRS stock. They've since removed that on the Gen 3, and there's one in the back that has an integrated QD swivel mount on it. So I've never seen a stock with that on there before. It is vertically oriented. I didn't see a lot of guys use that horizontal sling loop that was on there. You could remove it on the first PRSs. So you just have one of those in the back. Also on the bottom of the older version, there was a secret compartment that you could slide out, and it revealed polymer, basically 1913 rail, which you would attach your monopod to. I didn't have a monopod, so I would just put my Allen wrenches in that thing. That was pretty cool. So they've removed that on the Gen 3 stock, but now they have 2 M-LOK slots at the bottom. So basically you can add your rail there and then continue to use a monopod or whatever you want to put down there. But basically they just made it M-LOK compatible only on the very bottom of the stock. So that's going to be facing the bench or facing the ground. Still has the fully adjustable length of pull. Basically it's a turret wheel, and then there's also the whole cheek weld moves up and down. So you can get this thing adjusted for your cheek weld height as well as your length of pull and just leave it like that. Pretty nice stock. A lot of the precision rifle stocks, like the one that they're putting on the Ruger precision rifles right now, has those same functions as far as, you know, adjusting it exactly for the shooter's preferences. Have you guys gotten to play with the PRS at all?
I fiddled around with one of the Gen 2s, and I really liked it. It suited very well to a precision rifle. I think that's what should have come on the Ruger PRS instead of whatever it was that they put on it. It's sturdy. The ability to adjust is fantastic, and you know, I only see better out of this Gen 3.
Yeah, I've never actually shot a rifle with one of these on it. I've always thought I wanted one, and then I picked up just the stock itself one day, and I'm like, I don't have anything that I need enough precision out of to warrant weighing this much. On a precision rifle, I could see this thing perfectly because length of pull adjust and cheek weld adjust, you know. The only thing I'm not sure, which you might be able to tell me, Ryan, is you can't adjust the butt plate. You can't swivel it, can you?
On the Gen 2, you could not. I mean, as far as moving the butt plate itself up and down for the pocket of your shoulder,
or twisting it kind of
left
sideways.
or right.
Yeah.
Right. On the old one, you could not, but on this new one, height and cant adjustable non-slip rubber butt pad. So you can adjust it up and down. So a lot of guys, if they're shooting like absolutely prone on the ground, they prefer to have that butt pad actually slid up a little bit, so it kind of fits on their shoulder in the correct location instead of having it kind of tucked down because your body's kind of on it at that point. So it's really nice that they brought that function there, but it doesn't. You mean like can't left or right?
Oh, it says it does.
I don't know if it.
Rubber butt pad provides positive shoulder purchase to prevent slippage and is adjustable for both cant and height.
Is that cant forward and aft or cant port and starboard?
You know, I don't know, but if it does, that's a big plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
You know, it did for when I'm looking at it, and it looks more like, you know, the polymer. It looks more like the structure on the Hunter 700 stock versus the original PRS. That thing was built like a tank. Like the design and the more rounded corners. This one's a little bit more angular. It's still got rounded corners, but it's got more like geometric angles in the contours a little bit more. So I can definitely see where this is going to be. Probably let me see if they're the same weight or not. That's one thing I'd be curious if they weighed the same. So it's 25 ounces on the the new one. Let me see what the original was. Because I'm wondering if they changed the construction to where it's, you know, a little bit thinner walled maybe.
Right.
The original was 26.9, so I'm only talking like less than 2 ounce difference.
Right.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah, and they don't really show a picture of the cant, just kind of the height adjustability, like you said. So.
Yeah.
You know. Sure.
Yeah, I can't find that either.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
couldn't either.
Wow.
Hey,
that was horrible.
You buy tickets for the dry humor. That's what you're getting. Everyone knows that.
Have
Another
you
nice
talked about
thing.
the video?
What? I have not talked about the video yet. You want to go ahead and cover that?
Okay. No, I was just asking. I stepped away.
The most interesting rifle stock in the world.
Dude, this is an awesome tongue-in-cheek kind of ad that they have on the Magpul site for the Magpul PRS. It is awesome because it's smack talking at the same time it's being truthful and playing humble or being that fake humble. It's great because everybody copied this after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but before Magpul came out with their PRS stocks, you had some really expensive foreign-made stuff, or you just strapped padding on. You just added it up yourself, and that's what you did. So Magpul came out with this, and everybody else went, "Hey, that's a great idea," and jumped on the bandwagon. Or they made it cheaper because at first, what was it? I mean, this was just a very expensive stock system to have. If you had anything like an M1A or anything else that had something adjustable, it cost a lot of money. And then Magpul came out with sub $300 to get a stock on an AR to have it built up to the point that they were so successful with this, people built bolt actions around the buttstock so it could be put on, like the new Ruger Precision rifle. That's able to take any AR-15 buttstock, and pretty much it was designed because of this, really. But it doesn't have this on there. It has, what's the other company? I forgot.
Is it a Luth AR
yeah,
that's on it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it has on there. But, I mean, all that's because of Magpul. And they kind of don't pull any punches with that in their video, which is pretty cool and entertaining.
Yeah. So actually, if you watch the video, you'll see that butt pad does cant left and right. So that answered our question.
I'll see what happens when I'm late to the show.
Yeah. Another nice thing I've heard to mention is that it does have a forward QD point on the kind of the stem, or I want to say shaft, but the professional in me wants to use a different word. Basically, the part just about 1.5 inches behind the where the receiver buffer tube screws into the receiver. There's a QD socket. You can swap it out for left and right hand side.
On the sleeve of the stock.
On the sleeve. There you go. That doesn't have any innuendo in it at all. So yeah, I mean, I got rid of mine because I didn't have I only had 16-inch AR at one point. I didn't have the 20-inch anymore. So I got rid of it because it was just kind of sitting in my parts drawer, and I needed some cash to fund more kind of projects. I don't remember what I sold it for, but somebody was very excited to get one. But looking at this new one, I think that I might consider getting the Gen 3 and putting it on one of my ARs again. I just don't really have anything longer than 16 inches anymore. I might put it on. I'm kind of working on like an SB. No, that's a pistol. Never mind, that won't work. I guess I can make start another AR one of these days. But yeah, fun stuff. So if you want to move on to the next one, these are going to get more into the carbine length stocks. So we've got the SL-K and the SL-S stocks. These are both in the MOE, Magpul Original Equipment line. So basically, the SLK is obviously a drop-in replacement for the M4 style mil-spec using the carbine buffer tube. It's the SLK is designed for compact PDW style weapons, or SBRs, and using just a small light stock. It does not have any QD points on it. However, it does have where the old style had like a slot for you to run your sling through. It has one MOA or one M-lock slot. So at that slot, you could attach their QD M-lock QD sling mount. Or you can put like a tiny section of rail there and then attach, a paraclip on there, anything you want. But other than that, it's very no frills. It uses the same MOE kind of rolled toe buttstock. It does have is that lever on either side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's ambidextrous as far as the lever. It doesn't hang down, so I guess one really nice thing about this is that if you were to bump the bottom of the stock on anything, it wouldn't like inadvertently trigger the latch to extend it or contract it. It is on either side of kind of the stock.
I am a big fan of MOE or Magpul's slimline stuff. I've got their SL handguard on my AR, and I absolutely love it. It's nice and slim. It isn't heavy. This stock I'm really excited about. I was about to pull the trigger on the Mission First tactical minimalist stock. And then I saw this one came out, and it's MSRP $20 cheaper than that one is, and it only weighs like
8 ounces. Yeah, the thing's super light. It's like 7.9 ounces. I like the Magpul, MOE stuff also, and I was looking at this stock. I'm kind of the same way. I mean, it's a nice looking little stock. I mean, for the price, heck, I'm thinking about buying one just kind of to have an extra one.
Yeah.
To try it out.
Yeah, I mean, I've run the original MOE stock and now the CTRs. I've got a couple of those in different colors, but this is definitely, I guess, more minimalistic. But it still has a nice little decent cheek weld. It's not really pronounced like their other stocks on the left and right hand side, but it just seems like a good minimalist fit for an SBR or a PDW. But let's be honest, they're basically the same thing.
Yeah, they seem to be marketing it more towards the the SBR PDW folks, but I'm really digging just slapping this on a 16-inch gun. It shaves a little weight off, shaves a little bulk off. Especially if you're wearing a plate carrier with a rack of magazines, you don't have that that extra length of stock hanging down that you've got to contend with. You can get it real nice and tight into the shoulder pocket. I'm getting one of these.
Yeah, even if you're just wearing a heavy coat, something
Absolutely.
small like this works good. I mean, it's not like all of us shoot in the nice warm weather all the time. Though I would like to. Go ahead, Tom.
I like the way this looks. I like minimalist when it comes to a lot of things because really, I've always been into lightweight AR. It started off as lightweight, and pretty much as the years have gone by, we've added more and more weight to it. I think when we went full potato with the quad rail, 15-inch long quad rails, and all that, and I think we're bringing it right back to what it used to be, which is a lightweight rifle. And this is about as minimalist as you can get. The only sucky thing about living in Jersey is I'd have to get it, pick a length, and then have it pinned to that length to make it Jersey legal. That's the annoying thing about this, but it's not that horrible because most people really don't adjust their length of pull that much anyway.
Yeah. Tony disappeared on us, it looks like.
Jersey heard him.
Yeah.
The black helicopters are already swarming his place.
Yeah, they got me. Anyway, I like it. It's pretty cool. They'll probably continually knock me off air because they hate me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really interesting perspective because you've, of course, used the platform back in the day when it was very minimalistic and, didn't have all the extra frills and accessories that we have now. So kind of seeing it start to come a little bit more full circle is an interesting perspective.
Yeah, I mean, for someone that started out when I did, Google Gaga and drooling over M16A1s, to being when I was in the Marine Corps, we had M16A2s. then to get out in the civilian world and watch it just grow from the 90s until now when it becomes America's rifle, because it definitely wasn't before. Sorry, but there were more people I knew with Mini 14s than AR-15s, and it all changed. And then I watched them just get dumb with it and make it into a very heavy rifle. I mean, even though the M16A2 was a heavy rifle, it had a lot more ability going for it. It had a 20-inch barrel. It had readjusted sights that pretty much can take you out to 800 yards. And to watch people just add more and more to it was kind of ridiculous. But, hey, it is what it is. Americans buy what the military has. I mean, we've always done that after every war. That's when the bolt actions came in after World War I. That's when semi-automatic rifles came in after World War II. So that's just the way the American public is. And now we want to grow. And we're bringing in women. We're bringing in smaller people. And also operators are getting, more play. I mean, it's on television. Everybody's an ex-Navy SEAL or Delta Force or something. So it reflects in the market. That's what people want to buy, what they saw on the big screen or a little screen now with television shows. So this is what's happening, and I'm really cool with it, because the more we appeal to people, the more we appeal to their wallets, the more they'll be involved in making sure we have this right.
Yeah, and
so it all comes around to politics.
I'm going to go with Tony here. It's kind of out on a limb, but adjustable lightweight rifles, stocks like the stock, are great for women, children, teaching people to shoot, because you can adjust the length of pull for them, because not everybody's 5'10" and weighs 180 pounds or whatever standard is nowadays. And
yeah, my last class, the lady was 4'11".
Yeah,
she's not going to go with the same length of pole as a 6 foot tall guy.
Yeah, she basically needs to stock all the way in, but a lighter rifle is still easier for people that weigh less and have never shot before to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will, interested in the 22 long rifle caliber ARs for their kids, because the stock length is the biggest issue with them. If a store does not have the, as a gun owner, and if you're a parent, you might be looking at the Savage Rascal or the little cricket rifle and going, well, they're going to grow out of that in like less than a year. I want to get them something that's going to be adjustable for them as they grow. So I'm not having to buy a new rifle every time they get older, which actually doesn't sound too crazy to me. But
yeah, I was going to say that's okay with me.
Right. I mean, I've had a lot of people interested in the Bushmaster or the Colt, or hopefully not the Mossberg, but the AR style 22s that have the same collapsible stock, just because even though it is a little bit more unwieldy and a little bit more technical, if that's like you're training them on their rifle, I mean, they should probably get a bolt action 22, but at least it's something that is workable. I mean, with kids can learn how to like run the iPods and the iPads and the iToasters these days. I think starting them off on a 22 caliber AR, as long as you like make sure you're really like load one round in the magazine, let them shoot it, and then if that works out well, do it again. And then once they start hitting paper, maybe load 2 rounds in the magazine. Like, don't be an idiot and put 25 rounds in the magazine and then let them shoot. Keep shooting and lose control. Not like they would with 22, but just take it slow with them. You're in control. Be the adult.
Also, one of the reasons to load 1 round at a time
is because the government might cut you off.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's back. What were you gonna say?
Once kids started hitting with a 22, they just light that trigger up, and you started burning through a lot of 22 ammo, and they kind of stop learning. You know what I mean? If you make them stop, switch up, have to reacquire sight picture, sight alignment between every shot, you build those good habits into them. But once they start hitting paper and just start banging, bang, 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 they start to lose it. I've watched it, and you have to slow them down again. So an easier way to do it is just load them one at a time or a couple at a time. and let them shoot and assess.
Are you saying I'm a child?
Yes.
Yes, we all are.
Oh, okay.
And that's why we keep inviting you back.
I get accused of that every now and again.
So the SLK, that's $39.95 MSRP. The SLS is a little bit of an evolution from that. The primary difference is that it has a much kind of wider cheek rest, kind of like their ACS or ACL. I forget which abbreviation it is. Basically, you have an integrated battery storage inside of that cheek weld, but also it does allow you to rest more of your chubby cheeks on the stock itself. But it's still slim underneath that. It definitely tapers off to be just as slim when it comes to the toe of the stock. It's got the same lever on each side that's snag-free. And this one actually does have it looks like it's got two M-locks spots, or those frogman loops. I can't tell. They look so similar.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
They don't look like M-lock to me because the end of each one of those slots looks too rounded. So I think those might actually be frogman loops. But it does have a QD spot there, and other than that, it's still got the same rolled toe butt pad.
It looks a little longer, not just the toe, but the whole butt pad.
Yeah.
I couldn't see a spec on it on their website. It doesn't give the height like it did in the SLK. So
it looks to be the same size as a standard MOE SL stock. I mean, it looks just like it except for the battery magazine port.
Yeah.
So each one of those tubes on either side can store two CR123A batteries or just some AA batteries. But if you're running some kind of EOTech or Strikefire or other site that uses those batteries, you've got storage in the stock, which is nice. And they are waterproofed using a kind of an O-ring plug. It's only good for 10 meters though. The other nice thing about it is that I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, that's what I was going to say. It actually has a lot of people complain about these stocks that they still rattle around. Even when you get the correct like mil-spec stock to mil-spec buffer tube, there's still a little bit of extra tolerance where it rattles around. And Magpul has been actively trying to redesign their stocks to combat this. That's why the MOE stock, basically you got the CTR stock, which actually had that friction lock on there that really tightened it down and made it so it didn't rattle around as much, but it was really easy to unlock without having to do anything special. On this stock, it actually uses a what was I reading here? I lost it.
It says it's a rollover toe transition. I saw it in here, and I read
It might have been under.
The unique leaf spring tension system provides a solid fit on mil-spec receiver extensions.
That's all it says. Yeah, at least somebody can find it.
This Magpul beanie is cutting into my circulation, so I'm going to actually take it off a little bit. There. Now I can think better. It was getting too hot, so my mainframe was overheating.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they're trying to combat that more, so it has a more solid feel, is really nice. Because there's nothing I hate more than just a rattly stock.
Yeah, I like that aspect to it. I like the bigger cheek piece on them too. That's always nice, especially if you're using some sort of optic on it. That's just my preference.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, like you said, store batteries for stuff. You forgot to mention, like store the 123s for your light that's on the front of your rifle.
I'm not necessarily a fan of having accessories on my rifle that invite me to add more weight to it.
This is true.
I I do like the utility of it, and if I was running something that had battery life issues like an EOTech or something along those lines, I would be more apt to do something like that. But as far as like the comfort goes with a cheek weld, I've never had a problem with a regular old mil spec buttstock,
M4.
other than catching mustache and beard hair in it, which gets rather painful. But at what is this? Almost a pound, 12.8 ounces, 13 ounces. It's nice. I like it, but that's not necessarily something I'm definitely about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, it
I'm
comes
in the same ballpark.
Go ahead.
I'm old school. I'm trying to add as much weight to my rifle as possible
I
because
can't do it.
the only exercise I get is trying to hold the thing up.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I'm looking at it going, wait a minute. I have a optic on that's good for years. Like an aim point or something like that. Battery life is for 5 years, and I have the ability to hold 2 more batteries. How long am I carrying this thing? I mean, seriously. I can keep the batteries at home. But that has always been one of the things that people had and saw it as some kind of plus. I just saw it as kind of there for no reason. But if you want it, fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like a carryover of the whole everything must have quad rails on it kind of world that we lived in a couple of years ago, where everything had to have quad rails, and you had to have the kitchen sink in your gun, and battery storage here, and you had to keep an extra bolt in your pistol grip, and all that stuff.
Well,
I always saw that, and I'm like, how did we get by back in the old days with just a cleaning kit and a buttstock? Like, I have no idea how we survived.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like what I do is that I have a still sealed new firing pin, and I put it inside any Magpul grip I have. It's got the plug-in inside, because the one thing that'll ruin your day is if your firing pin breaks, which obviously if you buy a quality bulk carrier group with good materials, you're less likely to have that happen. But I'm always of the mind that if I'm at the range and I can hear someone screaming, like, "Oh, my firing pin broke," I can at least be the nice guy to be like, "Hey, I've got one here." Or if that's me, I save my skin. But that's just something that I've had firing pins break on like shotguns, and I know it's apples to oranges, but it just kind of in my head I'm always thinking, well, I'm not going to need more batteries. I've already got Skittles stored elsewhere, so I might as well put a essential replacement gun part in there just in case. I mean, if anything, even fill up like some extra springs and detents, because I mean that's all your AR is some springs and detents. So if something one of those could potentially break for whatever reason, I mean, stranger things have happened. At least you have something to fix that, kind of not in the field, but more at the range, because there's nothing worse than like driving home early from the range because you forgot something or something broke or you weren't fully prepared.
You better put a bolt in there too, then.
Yeah, I mean, at least your Allen wrenches. Throw some Allen wrenches in there for goodness sakes.
I'd just as soon keep that in my kit somewhere and keep my rifle lighter.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan's firing pin probably adds enough that he can.
Well, someone told me if I filed the tip down, I can go full auto, and it did not work. Can you believe that?
Had the opposite effect.
It went full inert after that.
So, are you buying the next product here, Ryan?
Of course you do.
Well, I have been thinking about it. I actually don't have any of these yet. So we're done talking about AR-15 stocks, thank goodness. Lots for you guys to look forward to in the new year. Some of those are going to be coming out more in the summer 2016, and if we've learned anything from Magpul release dates, buckle up and settle in, because that's always going to change. So now we're going to move on to their new magazines for handguns, specifically for Glock. Obviously they had the 15-rounder for the Glock 19, and they had the 17-rounder for the Glock 17. So everyone's rejoiced. Magpul's making Glock magazines. It's definitely cheaper than Glock factory mags, and it should be good quality, minus the little kind of flub they were having putting 17 mags in the Glock 19 in the beginning, but they fixed that since. Now they're releasing extended magazines. So they've got a 21-round magazine and a 27-round magazine for your Glock 19 or Glock 17 or Glock 26, anything that uses the double-stack 9mm magazine. So this is good news. Unless you're like me and you already have I shouldn't say this because if there's ever an extended magazine ban, this will be evidence for raiding my house. But I have lots of the Happy Sticks, the 33-round Glock mag. Those are awesome. They're very expensive, but I always said it's good to stock up on them. Well, now Magpul's making comparable magazines for cheaper. So their 27-rounder magazine is $21.95 MSRP, and the 21-round magazine is $19.95, which is still obscenely a good deal. I mean, wow.
Yeah, wow.
If your state allows you to be free and own a handgun magazine with a extended capacity, I suggest you hop on this while you can.
Well, and the other thing is Magpul was pretty smart when they designed these. I mean, Glock already makes a 33-round magazine or whatever it is. But they made these. They didn't make them with the sense of, oh, we're going to make a 27-round magazine. They made it legal for like USPSA and IPSC competition. It's open gun limit on the length of the magazine, not how many rounds it holds. And so like the 21 is for limited class USPSA because it can hold, it's a 140mm length magazine. And so they were pretty smart making extended round magazines, making them so that all these people that shoot Glocks in a lot of competitions can still use these for $22 or whatever they cost. So that's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's very smart because when you get to magazine costs, that's where it gets ridiculous sometimes. I mean, some magazines are up to $45, $50 each when you get into the Walther PPQ and HK VP9s. So, yeah, having $20 mags, freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at both of those pistols, and I'm like, dude, it's $45 for extra mags. No. No.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
what happens when you get your guns
great.
from Belgium like I do.
Yeah.
You got $50 magazines?
It's awful.
Well, where do you got? So, go ahead.
FNSs.
Okay, yeah.
Let me turn the camera on. Oh. Gotta love them. Awesome guns.
There you go. They are. I've shot a few of them. They're awesome. I got the Glock 15 rounders for my Glock 19. These things are sturdy. They got the high vis follower in them. They have the window at the bottom there for 15 rounds are in it. Removable floor plate, and even have, I didn't know what this was, but it was the dot matrix, so you can write stuff on the bottom, which of course I've only been to the range by myself, but I'm going to start marking them up so I can actually know which are mine, because we have some different shoots coming up soon, and we're going to have a bunch of Glocks out. So I believe this is a quality product, and I wish I lived in a free state. There's actually a competition, what do you call that? I can get paperwork to say I shoot in competitions, and I can have these magazines legally in Jersey. But I have to get, a dispensation from the Pope that says I can shoot competition. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Hey, listen, people. Pay attention. This is what happens when you allow politicians to run amok.
Yeah. The nice thing about these magazines, like the one you were showing, Tony, is on these, like the 27-rounder has windows on the mag for 10, 15, 20, and then the 27 rounds. So, if you're shooting in some other class and you only or need 10 rounds, or that's the limit for the class you're shooting in, it's got a window so you can just load it up and say, okay, it's loaded to 10. It's still got that dot matrix floor plate like Tony was talking about that the standard 15 and 17 rounders have.
Yep.
So, you can't go wrong.
It's nice that they put the windows actually on the sides instead of just the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like that
everybody
feature.
that has the 15 and the 17 rounders have been wanting witness marks on their mags, so it's nice to see them doing that. Hopefully they'll roll that into the current production ones.
Yep.
So it's got a it's also got a flared base plate. That's right?
Yeah.
That flare brace plate actually comes in handy. I tell you right now. It's better than the original Glock mags. It helps me out, and it also provides my pinky for somewhere to sit on this 19. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Tony, do they drop free out of that Gen? Do they drop free out of that Gen? Was it Gen 1 or Gen 2 that you've got?
Gen 2, drop
There
free.
you go. That answered my question. Beautiful.
Yep.
Sweet.
Very nice. So you got the 21 and the 27. Obviously, hopefully in the next year or two, hopefully not too long, they'll be making these for the other calibers for 40 and hopefully even 45 as well. Probably 45 last, but still nonetheless would be nice to see these coming out on the market. And I guess I should just sell the magazines I have, the Glock factory magazines, make a small profit, and then go buy back some PMags, or just get them all. I mean, there's no sense. You can't have too many magazines, right?
Absolutely not. That's going to be fantastic for the 9mm Glock carbine lower, the lowers.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what you're gonna have to buy. You're gonna have to buy pistol caliber carbine in case Glock mags.
That's the
Oh,
plan.
wait, Ryan has one.
Yeah, I love it. It's the smartest decision I've ever done. I just SBRing it, man. I forgot what it looks like. I don't even. That's my greatest fear, is that when I finally get the call to pick it up, I won't even recognize it.
Maybe you can paint the mags stealth gray too.
Yeah, it's like not seeing your wife or kids for a while. It's like all of a sudden their faces start to fade from your memory. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. You're on your own on that one, cuz.
So pretty cool. The next product actually ties right into the magazines because it's actually their a little bit longer or larger floor plate. So this is the GL-L plate. So basically it fits the PMag 17 and 15. It's made out of durable reinforced polymer with a rubber overmold, so it's kind of tailor-made for both competition and defensive use. Just to give you a little bit more meat on the bottom of that base plate to slam it home, aids in the seating of the magazine into extended magazine wells, gives you good traction and impact protection if you want to pistol whip somebody. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. Comes in a pack of 3, so it's kind of nice. I know a lot of guys, or at least maybe I'm just the only one that really enjoyed the Magpul Glock magazine floor plates that were kind of designed to mimic the AR-15 style that went on the bottom of their PMags that had kind of the loop, so you can put like kind of a lanyard or something like that. What do you call that? Just like a
Ranger plates.
Yeah,
Ranger plates. Yeah, so it was basically the Ranger plates for the Glock mags. They were really soft polymer. They weren't really that rigid. I mean, you could kind of press it with your hand, and it would kind of morph the little fin, and then it'd go back in the place when you relieve pressure. But I kind of like that for competition, just because it really helped me when I'm reloading, and trying to do it fast, to really give me some more leverage to put it inside the mag well and seat it correctly. So these are a little bit nicer and cleaner, obviously. Looks like it's pretty easy to install. using just that that screw, or is that the bottom of the floor plate? I'm not too familiar with the bottom of those. Tony, can you show me the bottom of your PMag? And just as I asked, he disappeared from the hang. Wow, getting a lot of interference from the government this week. There we
Hating
go.
on a brother.
Yeah. So is that a screw that you unscrew, or does that push up?
That's a screw. Supposedly you unscrew.
Okay. So you would just unscrew that with some kind of Allen head, and then replace it with the L plate, which will be a little bit larger.
Actually, I'm incorrect. You just push it down.
Oh, well, I thought it would be a little bit toolless, just for the ease of use.
Yep.
God forbid you gotta have an Allen tool for everything.
Just pushed it down and removed it. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I like this because these actual plates look a lot like those Vickers plates that they had on the. I don't know if you saw my Instagram page. I had pictures from that new gray Vickers Glock 19, and it had those extended plates. The base is like a little wider. That allows you to grab them from the side when you hit eject. And these have a little of it, but I think these Glock 19 plates, or the Glock plates they have here, seem to be even better. I might pick up some just to have them and check it out. They're inexpensive. I mean, you know what I mean? They don't cost an arm and leg, and it's just easily added to what I already have.
Yeah. $20 for a 3-pack. It does not have a dot matrix, which that's where it's located on the actual base plates. So if you actually use the dot matrix to identify your magazines from your class or your buddies, this doesn't look like it has a dot matrix on there. So you have to have some other way to kind of signify that those magazines are yours.
Yep, that's where the electric pencil comes in.
Yep.
Or the silver Sharpie.
Or that.
Either way.
Cool. So that's that. Next, we're going to move on to something completely different, something that is a little bit out of left field. I guess it's kind of interesting. I was very interested to see what you guys would say about this. So Magpul is getting into the back-to-school industry. I guess it's a big industry. Every year in August, kids have to go to the Walmarts and Kmarts and pick up their pencil pouches and binders and things like that. So Magpul's putting out these pouches. They're called the DACA pouches. Comes in a small, medium, and large. The small is $16.95, the medium is $22.95, and the large is $27.95. And basically, these are just really nice gear pouches for you to put your essentials and protect from the elements. So, kind of interesting. The small one is 6 by 9 inches. All of them are reinforced polymer fabric. It's got an anti-slip texture. The welds kind of create a permanent impenetrable seal. It's got a YKK Aqua Guard water repellent zipper, 550 paracord with heat shrink tubing for enhanced grip even with gloves, and paint pen dot matrix debossed into the body for identification, and it's got kind of holes in the corners, not grommets, almost like grommets, but they're basically attachment points for a carabiner. So I guess you'd put like your wallet, your watch, I mean anything you can basically fit in these guys, so that when you're operationally, all your kind of essential like admin stuff could stay, like clean. Tony, like I'm really having trouble wrapping my head around this.
All right. Well, what makes more sense is what I saw them talking about at SHOT. Magpul is trying to extend their product line, and they were working on that electronic welding or whatever you call it, the high vibration welding. And they got together with just to practice with some plastics and some polymers, and they created this bag. Well, they also had the waterproof zippers. I mean, it was just a combination of things that came together during their testing, and they made these bags as testing, and people just kept taking them because they find uses for them. And I'm talking about the people at Magpul. And they decided just to go all in and make these bags because you can come up with reasons to use something that's waterproof and really tough. They made a pretty good commercial about it, but it's a really tough bag. It's not like the cheap plastic ones you buy out in other things. So you can put your fire kit in it if you want to do it and have a waterproof fire kit in something that's really.
And he dropped out. He'll be back in real quick. So far, so good. He's been only out like 5 or 10 seconds at a time. There he is.
This is getting to be really annoying. I watched their commercials, and they were talking about a lot of stuff they put in it, and they also said the large one can fit an iPad. And they showed the iPad with the Magpul cover on it, the protective cover on it. But it's just a good duty thing, and if you're really name brand loyal, this is something you can do. That's all. It's just another Magpul thing, but it seems to be, like all of their stuff, really effective for what it's designed for. Yeah.
So Ryan will buy a bunch of them.
You know,
I'm expecting to see one with the logo on it and sent to us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll probably get one, like maybe the medium one, and keep it inside my truck because, you know, even though I've got a toolbox in my truck, you know, things that I usually keep, you know, like things that you throw inside your glove box usually, and you pull out every now and then. It might be nice to just keep a, you know, flashlight and, you know, maybe my registration and stuff inside something like that. That way, if for whatever reason, if I have to pull that stuff out and it gets dropped on the ground, or it makes sense to me. I just don't know if I'm gonna rush to the store as soon as they are released and buy a whole bunch. I'm not that bad.
I could see.
The beautiful thing about it is they're cheap enough to just buy one.
Yeah. I can see.
Like it.
Like Ryan was saying, put one in your truck. Maybe put your registration in it so that, you know, if you don't drop it in the water. The other thing that would be good in a vehicle is you could put your medical kit in it because, you know, extra stuff that gauze, you don't want to get wet, you know, stuff like that, you know, usually it's either in a metal container or something, or just, you know, a ballistic nylon thing.
Yeah.
Something like that. I could see it being useful for that. Maybe people hiking that want to keep certain things dry.
I mean, the funny thing about it is, look, we all like bags and kits and new gear. I mean, that's why we're on the show. And this is just a solid bag that's waterproof, and it's more versatile than the cheesy bags we sometimes get. I mean, even a shaving kit can go in here, and then if something happens, it could be used for something else. I mean, we often don't do that. I mean, how many of us have bags right now holding small tools that used to be something else?
The proverbial Crown Royal bag.
Yeah.
There you go, Alki.
No, it's an expensive Ziploc bag. It's an expensive Ziploc bag, you know. Yeah. Waterproof. Says Magpul on it. Yep.
No, I'm not calling it anything. It's not.
Well, you know, like this past fall, went to Disney World with my kids.
Yeah.
And you know, you ride a couple water rides, but you want to keep, you know, your phone on you or something on you, and you get splashed. Well, something like this is fantastic. You can get the small, it's small enough to fit in a cargo pocket or something like that. That way, all your electronics, your wallet, anything you want to keep dry can just stay in that cargo pocket, stay on you, so it doesn't walk away, and it stays dry, and you didn't spend a god-awful amount of money to keep it that way. Yes, a Ziploc bag would do the job just fine, too, but Ziploc bags don't say Magpul on them.
Yep.
And they also don't come with carabiner loops that you can hook it to and clip to your belt.
Yeah, they're not tactical.
And a dot matrix so I can label it. So like I said, these... Right. That flat dark earth better match my PMags, or else it's no deal. Everything has to match my PMags. If it's not, and like my Tavor does not match my PMags, I've got to repaint the Tavor. It's no good. It's got to re-Cerakote it something else. But the smaller one is 6x9, the medium one is 7x12, and the largest one is 9x13. And I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. It is all of them are just water resistant, not waterproof. So they are not submersible. You can't put your phone in here and then drop it in the bathtub or the septic tank. They're only meant to keep out most wet weather situations. They're certainly not submersible. So there are products on the market out like that are submersible, and those are great. But this is really just for utility. So this is like if you dropped it in the snow or in a shallow puddle, things like that. If you're driving down the freeway and you've spilt your big gulp on it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So coming spring 2016 should be pretty interesting.
Yep.
So that's the end of the Magpul products. They might come out with a couple more this year. As I mentioned earlier on an earlier show as an announcement, they released or they at least teased for the Magpul Hunter 700 long action stocks. So a lot of people have been waiting for long actions instead of the short action. So good news there. Also, the Magwell to convert it to take the box magazines, and then obviously the best thing about that is they're going to be putting out long action PMag AC models. So that's good too. Actually, when I saw they had a long action version and then they had a long action Magnum version, so it looks like they're building up the AC magazine to be a little bit more suited for Magnum cartridges. Yeah, so there's the PMag 5 ACL standard long action, and then the PMag 5 ACL Magnum long action. So that would obviously be like 300 Winchester Magnum, 7mm Rem Magnum, things like that. So I wonder why the standard long action must not be really suited for Magnum calibers for whatever reason, either the size or the just the overall construction. Probably more like 30-06, 270, that kind of thing.
When they actually bring this stuff out, I'm sure it'll be on the podcast.
I'm pretty sure it will, although I don't plan on getting a long action. Of course, everyone, remember I bought the black one because I was tired of waiting on my pre-order for the Flat Dark Earth one. The Flat Dark Earth one showed up at Cabela's, and I was really tempted to buy it too, and then swap the stocks and then sell the black one. But being that's going on a blackout, and I'm not even sure that I'm satisfied with the performance of that Remington 700 in blackout, I think I'm just going to keep the black stock on there for now. I know that just sounds so frivolous, but that's what I have to deal with. But yeah, I'm sure I'll probably talk about it. I'm waiting for them to put out the PMag AC in 5.56. It's ridiculous that they do not have that yet. I would have think they would have done that first instead of jumping right into long action, because how many people have a Remington 700 in 223 or 300 blackout? Make that first and then jump to long action, because obviously I can't feed 5.56 or 300 blackout out of the 7.62 magazine. So
I'm willing to bet more have it in 30-06.
Yeah, I would say that too. It's just something that I have, and I wish that they would have addressed that. But the modular-driven technologies magazines that I'm using now seem to be working just fine.
I'm just here waiting for the Magpul clothing line. That's what I'm waiting to drop.
Yeah, get me some Magpul britches that I can put my 27 round 9mm magazines down each pant leg.
Yes.
Next year.
Deep carry, my friends. Deep carry.
Next year, probably have a built-in polymer holster for a Glock 19, and But yeah, I see it coming.
Yeah, well, you know what? After watching all the videos come in from SHOT Show, yeah, Magpul needs to go and make some Magpul clothing in plus sizes because there's a lot of fat dudes out there in Vegas, and I'm one of them, and I really appreciate plus size. So yeah, if Magpul just goes ahead and makes some plus size clothes, I'd be cool.
Well, I mean, since they're already impregnating fabric with this polymer, I can see definitely some jackets coming out to give the all the soft shell tactical jacket companies a run for their money. It'll probably be like a $300 jacket, but I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't get one.
Yeah, I'm looking at a
But
few
so
of these
far, really,
shirts.
hmm
What's that?
I was saying I was looking at a few of the shirts. I wasn't joking about the clothing line. They actually are dropping one.
Yeah, I know. I think they added a couple more. It just we're not really an apparel, like, unless if it didn't have like a practical purpose. I don't see why we'd be talking about it too much. I mean, I love T-shirts as much as the next
Said
guy.
Magpul on it.
Yeah, I mean, they did need an update because some of their designs are just kind of safe. Like they've got the one of their V-dub bus on there with the gun on the top. But just their standard branding shirts, I think they could definitely, have at least like some of their products on their shirt, like have a PMAG, or an AR, be a little bit more. I guess I don't want them to do better because those ideas are reserved for my clothing line at Patriot. So you know what, they could keep the level what they're doing, and I'm just gonna keep bringing the gold to Patriot Patchco.
Well, I'll at least say that if it just says Magpul with their like logo on it, see, you can wear it to schools. Like my kids can wear it.
Until somebody like knows what Magpul makes, and then they.
Yeah, but
I don't think so. But yeah, some places
you don't have to worry
like,
about that.
They make
like
pencil
Jersey.
pouches, I swear.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, look, I have a Magpul pencil pouch. Like this
That's
logo, no one knows what that is. I mean, I wear it around work all the time. Now, when I'm rocking my gun for hire hat, people have something to say about it. But when I wear my Magpul, even the one that says Magpul across it, they have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it for this show. Next week we'll have more variety of products, not just focusing on my favorite company in the industry. I love you, Magpul. Mwah. So let's open the floor for Tony. Let him talk about his Second is for Everyone diversity shoots.
Yeah, let me get this uncomfortable out of my earphones right now because I just heard him do an air kiss. I mean, that's just vile. Second is for Everyone diversity shoot coming up on February 4th. That's my thing. I'm scheduling more during the summer. One's coming up in April, one's coming up in June. But here's my thing out to everybody now. If you don't belong to a Second Amendment group, join one. And if you already belong to one, contact one of the ones in a state like mine and help them out because we're about to go into a political battle because Chris Christie has run this state. So more than likely the next governor of the state will be a Democrat, and we're going to be in for a long haul in the Second Amendment community here. They've already started pushing stupid laws. Again, with the, what do you call that thing, smart gun technology. They're trying to push that legislation through again. They're going to want us to do more things with ammunition, do more things with magazine limitations. So groups in states like ours need any financial help that guys from out of state can give us. So you can come to my Facebook page, and I have a lot of friends that are on there from different groups in the state. Or you can just look it up on the internet, like NJ2AS, that's one of them. And go to NewJerseySafeCon.net, and that was our first Second Amendment conference, and that has all of the groups there that you can look into. Help us out because we're going to need it because things that start here spread across the country like a cancer. It's anti-gun logic that goes here, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, and then it just jumps across the country to California, and they just push it out. So please help us out in states like this because we're on the forefront of stopping this stupidity from spreading to your states. All right. That's all I have to say about it. Thanks a lot for listening to me babble every week. Hopefully it's getting through to some of you that you can make a difference with just a couple of bucks. Thanks a lot.
Yep, not a problem. So wrapping this thing up, send questions or comments to myself at cross@firearmsradio.tv or, just cross@firearmsradio.tv. If you need any kind of graphic design or web design, hit me up at hunterofdesign.com or hunterofdesign@gmail.com. Remember to check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review if you enjoyed the show or you were thoroughly disgusted by anything that we said or any of the gestures that we make on the show. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. So thanks, guys, for joining me on this week.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. I think it went pretty good. Missing TJ a little bit and Alex, but they've got their lives and their things going on. That's all right. We brought the A-team in. We got her done. So I'll catch you guys on the next week, and have a good week. Shoot safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Later,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye. Bye, guys.